Welcome, my friends, welcome for another edition of the video productions by the Artelino company. My name is Dieter Vanschura and I'm the owner and manager of the Artelino company. We sell Japanese art prints in weekly online auctions. And today I want to present you another rather rare and expensive print by one of my favorite artists, by Hasui Kawase. Who was Hasui Kawase? He's considered by many as the most important Japanese artist for landscape prints of the first half of the 20th century. The title of this print is Pine Trees After Snow. A few words about Hasui. I'm not going much into his biography, just a few rough data. He was born in 1883 and died in 1957. And 1 year before his death, he was awarded by the Japanese government with one of the highest awards you can get as an artist. He was declared an intangible national treasure. Pine Trees After Snow, the title of this print, or in Japanese, Matsu no Yukibare. Most of the prints that were designed by Hasui Kawase were published by the famous mentor of Shinhanga and publisher Watanabe Shotsaburo in Tokyo. But Hasui made also a few prints with other publishers, and one was Kawaguchi and Sakai. And this print was published by Kawaguchi and Sakai. The first publication year was 1929, and this copy is a first edition printing. It has the stamp made in Japan on verso on the back side. This is a tiny, tiny stamp, and we've made an extra video, I think 2 months ago, something like that, explaining everything about this stamp. So I'm not going into detail now, but just to wrap it up, when you see this tiny made in Japan stamp, usually on the backside on a Shinhanga print, it means that the print was meant for export outside Japan. Collectors of Shinhanga know that prints of the Shinhanga art movement were mostly not sold in the domestic market, but they were exported. They were more appreciated by Westerners, mainly by Americans, so most of these prints went into the USA. This print is something unusual. It's a limited edition. This is the number 160 of a total edition of 350. Normally, until, let's say, 1945, middle of the 20th century, you hardly find any limited editions for Japanese prints. Limited editions are a Western invention, and traditionally a Japanese print, let's say by Hiroshige or Koniyoshi or Konisada from the 19th century, limited edition, completely unknown. This was an open edition, and it was regarded as commercial art. They printed as many copies as they could sell, yeah. And this is an exception. The limited edition number, it's here on the front side, that is stamped. But the same number is also brush written on verso on the back side. The cover of this wonderful print is Maeda, and the printer's name is Komatsu. The print has on the backside an inventory number. It's the lucky number 13, but we have no idea what that inventory number means and where it comes from. But we know the provenance. The provenance is the best you can have. It's from the estate of the famous collector and dealer Robert O. Muller, who deceased in 2003. My dear friends of the art of Japanese prints, let me at least try to explain to you a little bit these funny character writings there. Let's start with an easy brainer, and that's the signature and seal of Hasui Kawase, because that's always the same on all his prints. You find it inside the image, either on the top right bottom or on the top left bottom. And the red one is the seal. And it's not handwritten, of course, yeah. This is carved into the block. Then let's continue here, okay, this long box. That is the name of the carver and printer, Maeda and Komatsu. And here we have the copyright seal of the publisher, Kawaguchi and Sakai. Well, then here the edition number. I showed you that before. And here in the middle, it's the title, Pine Trees After Snow. And this is the date here of the first publication. In Japanese calendar, it says Showa 4th and August. And Showa 4th is 1929. So the first publication was in August 1929. And now one explanation important. So listen. This cutout looks strange, huh? Looks like a guy took a pair of scissors and demawed this beautiful print. No, it's not like that. It's not a defect. This is an alignment for exact printing, for the printer to do a wonderful, precise job. And you can see these cutouts mainly on prints, let's say after 1945, Japanese prints after 1945, and sometimes a little bit before. You will never find it on 19th century prints. Well, so much for today. If I could trigger a little bit your interest in Japanese prints, go to our website, www.artelino.com. There you find a lot of information about Japanese prints, and mainly for beginners in Bavarian style English. For instance, more than 1,000 articles in English, Bavarian style English. Also, I think 250 in German, not so important. And more than 100 videos and an artist directory of Japanese artists. Of course, everything specialized about Japanese prints. And we have these weekly online auctions. And of course, we're always pleased to see new bidders in our auctions of Japanese prints. Well, goodbye. And please, the most important thing, take care of yourself and stay healthy. Goodbye.